Hello everyone. So coincidentally in the last video that I put out it was about CoD Online, the Chinese version of Call of Duty, and I wanted to look at this because I wanted to see what CoD looked like in a different version, and especially how the CoD4 maps looked. I've recently discovered this video now. I'm not sure how I missed this for so long. It's made by a nice young man called UHD Gaming, and he put out a video last year where he somehow gained access to a early pre-alpha build, a developer build of CoD4 in its pre-alpha stage, so very early on in the development of the game. And I think it's actually really interesting to see what the maps look like and how the game looked before its release version that we see, because it's pretty different. And it's especially interesting as obviously now I'm working on Battalion, and it's currently in this stage itself, so it's nice to see the changes on how frankly pretty bad CoD4 looked before its retail release. So of course I unfortunately don't have any control over the footage because I'm taking it from the guy's video, which is on the console. So I'm only going to be covering the maps that we as a CoD4 promo community played, but there are some other cool things on his channel, some videos where he shows how the single players were before the animations and the voice acting were added, and even some multiplayer maps such as Hill, which didn't make it into the full release. So if you're interested in that, then I'll put his channel of course in the description so you can check it out yourself. So let's get into some of our favourite maps, and actually the first off, my favourite map in the game, Backlot. As you can see straight away, there was like a big jeep, and you get to see this hit multiple times in the different maps. And you actually see this in the Strike splash page as well when you're loading, and it was always a conspiracy why that was in the splash page but never in the game. But now we know it was actually just, you know, a really early version, and they actually used it quite a lot, as you can see again here. So moving down, bottom B ruins. Most of this looks the same. Obviously the graphics don't look as great, the lighting and so on. The tank's still the same. You see there at the bottom of mid-house, the car is like completely different. I think he does actually move it background so we get to see it closer, but the car there actually is the same one there in front of us. And you see, if I move the video back, there's actually a gap in the mid-fence, which is, it seems crazy like how overpowered that hole would be, which is why I guess they removed it. This is what I just love about these clips. It's amazing to be able to see what the maps were like before the retail version. There's some really crazy changes, some big ones that we'll see, some more subtle ones. This one is kind of a big one to the map's layout. It changes the complete the way that the map works. So let's keep going. So moving around into mid-house, of course there's a table here that's not usually here. This is actually, I'm not sure if it was added for this game mode. It's actually a game mode that I don't believe, you know, it didn't get released. It's one where you call a UAV or you call an airstrike in by the objective, by the laptop. So none of this bit here looking different in front of A. The mid, there's a massive bit of girders in the middle for some reason. The back of A here is completely different. The layout is different. Girders completely rotated. I don't believe that he goes any further into this map. I would like to see the attack spawn, you know, the sniper house and stuff, but unfortunately again I can't, you know, change the footage. So moving on to the next map, City Streets. This is a kind of a thing where the map, we call it City Streets, right, on the PC, but it's always been called District on the console because they only call it District, but we load it on our servers as City Streets. So that's a kind of crazy change. This map looks like Counter-Strike now because it's so basic. These textures, the layout. This one is like one of the pretty crazy one. As you can see straight away, there was no well in A. There's no well. You can go. There's an archway that you can go in under there. The marketplace is mental. It's completely different. I don't know. It's a lot like huts and stuff everywhere. I kind of like it. I don't know why they changed it. Going into a quick freeze frame here, you can see in the top right on the wall on the catwalk, there's actually these huge explosion holes in the wall. There's 3 of them. You can see 2 there on the screen, and when I play the clip again, you'll see there's one really close to the right as well. Again, completely changes the dynamic of the map. You don't now have to mantle over. You can just run straight into middle. I'd really like to see the attack spawn. I'd like to see Bialy. I'd like to see Wooden. I'd like to see it all, but he doesn't seem to go that direction. Moving on to B site here, a lot more cars. Sandbag. There's no big truck there. There's a lot more cars around here. You can't get into B shops. B shops isn't open. Again, this random table for the objective. I guess they added it just for the objective for this mode. So he's calling in an airstrike right now. So I guess the whole point of it was that you find the thing, you call the airstrike. I can't believe that you couldn't get in B shops. That's crazy. That changes the whole B site basically, and the fact there's no van as well when you're pushing onto the B site from the alleyway or from Wooden. I can't even see how you would get onto that site in S&D. This looking a lot more cleaner. There's no barricades or stuff around. And it seems like he's done with city streets as well, so we didn't actually get to see much of that as well. I both love this guy because he's providing these clips for me that I would otherwise not have, but also starting to despise him because he's not thoroughly looking at the maps. Okay, so skipping this one because I don't really care about convoy, or ambush as it's called. Crash, what is that helicopter? Somebody please. What is that helicopter? Alright, so we're starting in the defense spawn. I don't know if you've noticed that the UI is obviously very different as well, completely changed. So it's obviously a very early UI. Please, sir, stop shooting with this big gun. That wall is usually a fence. That's the back A is brick. It's all brick. The crash. I've never been so excited about something so pointless. Look at the crash. What is this helicopter? The wall's not broken. This is complete. What is something outside blue? What is this? It's so different. Oh my god. At least blue looks the same. Blue is like the only thing so far that I've seen that looks the same as CoD4 the retail version. And obviously this area here too. Just very, very clean. It's like they basically I'm playing with no decals on. Attack spawn, okay, it's fine. It's all similar. I'm feeling at home. Pushing down here, pushing down below. The crash, I just don't believe it. You can't tell me that's all you're going to see. What about hardware? What about B-Long? Come on, man. But, okay, we're going into Crossfire. He's at least doing the maps consecutively, the ones that I actually need to look at, so it makes it easier for me. So yeah, going to Crossfire. Oh God, I would really just love to make an individual video. I'd like to play these maps and just see how they play. The shotgun here, we pointed out, actually shoots differently, and it's like the CoD2 shotgun. I think it has the same animations, possibly the same sounds. I'm sure it's different than the original, the retail CoD4 one. Crossfire actually so far not looking any different. Oh, okay, I take that back. There is a room that he can go in, and I really want him to go in there, please. No. Okay, so well, there's a room, there's another balcony room up there, which is good. The broken wall is mad. There's no bus. There's no gap to sit on the counter. There's another room. I'm losing my mind. There's another room. It's so different. The wall is quite lower. The cars are a bit different here at spawn. There's a water tank that's fallen down. I'm lost for words. It's baffling. There's a hole in cafe. You can jump out the back of cafe. If you saw that hole there on the right. And the whole back area here is completely open as well. Insane. So different. This map probably has the most actual map layout changes than any of the maps. In here, I believe there is a room here you can enter as well. You see here, there's no ladder. You can't actually push around there. They actually use the back way the whole time, and they have stairs. The stairs go up instead of the ladder, so they completely condensed this area, and they opened up where the water tank is down there to go through the garage. You can't even go up there to look down the street. So that takes away, like, you know, the defense sniping areas completely. And you have these weird angles in cafe. There's rooms open everywhere. So just quickly taking a look back on some of these like really crazy changes. I would love to see how this room plays. It would be so cool to have like multiple angles to be able to look into the melons, look down the street, look into cafe. I think it would be pretty cool. I never even considered that they would have that there. Looking down onto the street. You know, the bus isn't in yet. The wall is blocking everything. It'd be a lot harder to be able to rush because you'd have to jump over everything. You could get caught in some of these bricks and stuff. Areas to prone if you were pushing up and you had a lot of smokes to, you know, to plant the bomb or whatever, take the site. This one is just kind of crazy because this completely changes the dynamic of being able to get out of B shots on defense. It's the hardest thing. B alley is one of the hardest places to play. It's where I played pretty much all my time. All I would do is have to sit there, try and, you know, time to get out with the grenades. I'd be getting naded in B alley. This completely changes that. I don't have to even get into B alley anymore because I can just walk out the door and look into melon. It just changes so much. And I know just before you walk in here, there's a door on the left. I don't know where it goes. And again, the one on cafe is also mentionable, and the one obviously at the back of the site, just crazy changes. So as you can see here, he's actually hovering over Strike, but there is actually a Strike and Night version that was going to be in the game. So it's the one that he showed. He doesn't show the original strike. I prefer to see the night version. I want to see what it looks like at night. I've obviously seen a night version of strike, I think, before, because you can get it on like custom maps and stuff. But it's interesting to see how they would have done it. The cars here at spawn, it's just like stacked on top of each other. It looks so unrealistic. It's like the big truck at spawn. The spawn area not looking too different here. Obviously the lighting is very early as well. You can actually, if I rewind, there was a little room there at B that you could get into. Changes, you know, planting B, your options. I don't know if it connects into the bottom of the spawn house. I'm inclined to think that it would. I know there's a door there, and they probably just closed it in the end. So that's pretty crazy. All these textures here, with the walls and stuff, very early, looks very different. They actually do have the bin on the left still. I'm surprised that was there originally. Maybe it's not in the exact same position. I'm not quite sure what he's doing right now, walking back and forward. Oh, he's showing there's like a bug or something when you're walking. The sandbags at the back actually don't, you know, show. And there's no petrol station here. It's not really a huge change. A couple of more cars. There's no wall on the left to peek on. A wall here where you walk in. This looks very strange with these walls. I'm glad they removed these. Obviously, they haven't added in this this big hut thing that was at the back here. The wall textures are very... The truck here, and there's just so many cars. They just have cars everywhere. This whole area at spawn is completely different. You know, the building on the left, it's not really... It doesn't matter that much because obviously you don't really spend time there. These very early versions of these walls, they look strange. They closed that bit back there in the spawn house is closed off. You can't get in there. They obviously haven't finished this part here because, you know, the map is still open. You can still walk out the map. So not much to say here because obviously it just wasn't finished yet. So moving on into Cafe. Cafe obviously very bare right now. Nothing in Cafe either in terms of assets or models. It's nice to see the statue and everything around A is the same. This is, well, this is obviously just a blocked out version here where they didn't have the whole gate here, but actually we saw you see right there that they actually don't have the taps area. So they obviously added that in because they thought that the A was probably quite condensed. There was a small section on the left there as well. And also there, well, we're going to need to rewind back there and have a look at that. It looks like there was an opening. There is an opening there into garage. So actually what you could do, I believe, is what it looks like is you, instead of having to walk around, and garage is just a closed off thing, there actually is an entrance that you could come in through that back bit near Palms and walk into garage. Again, it just completely changes the whole way that the map plays. And it's crazy because I remember thinking when I would play CoD4 and I'd see all of these doors around the map and I wonder what it would be like if you could walk through here and there was a corridor here, but they actually did have that at the start of the map. They just removed it because it was probably just, you know, too crazy for the gameplay. It was just too many areas, too many corridors. I think for me, as strange or as maybe even as sad as it might sound, it's one of the most interesting videos I've ever watched. For me personally, just because obviously I spent so many hours playing this game, and I also did a game design degree, so I know the process they go through. I'm helping to work on a game now that, you know, is in this exact process, so it's just so cool to be able to see, you know, and try and engage the thought process that they had when they were designing these maps, and, you know, when they were play testing it, maybe thought things were different, or, you know, they wanted to change the way that the map plays. But I would really like to see, I wish that I could play on these by myself and actually, you know, get a detailed version of these rather than relying on UHD Gaming. But I am fabulously thankful that he has these. And I think that's pretty much it. That's the 5 maps that we would play on. There is a couple others there. As I said, he does the single player missions. He does most of the single player missions. You know, a couple of other maps, Convoy. You know, these random ones we don't play, Overgrown probably. But that's pretty much it for this video. I hope this is somewhat interesting, as much for you as it is for me. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.